Hey, Rafa.
Good morning, Albert.
Morning. It's good evening here. Good morning there.
Yes, it's about nine. It's almost 9 o'clock in the morning here in Massachusetts, in Boston, and it's almost
Yeah,
10 o'clock p.m. there in Manila, in the Philippines. So we're
right.
now live, and I just want to make sure the Zoom meeting is interfaced with the Critical Beauty Facebook page, and it seems like it is. It's working. So we'll just wait for more people to come in. So far, we have like six viewers. So let's do a little superficial chit chat. So how's everything?
Everything's okay. Did I tell you that I found George Haliasgo already?
No way. Where?
Yes, I did. He's here in Manila,
Okay.
but I told him once you come home in the Philippines,
Mhm.
we'll try to meet everyone.
We could do a Zoom meeting.
Right, but he doesn't like to. He
Well,
said that he's grown old, blah blah blah. He's not ready to be seen yet. George, right?
well, where is he in the Philippines?
Yes, he's in Manila.
He's in Manila. Okay, because I the last time I heard was that he had gone to Hong Kong.
No,
Um,
he's here. He's here.
he's here.
He's back
Okay.
here.
Wow, that's great to know. Well, to those of you who are not familiar with what we're talking about, there's one thing that you should know, dear viewers. Besides the fact that Albert and I are both Filipinos, we also went to the same elementary school together in Manila, right?
In high school.
So now the whole world knows.
Right.
And now they can speculate how old we are and all that stuff.
And I remember, like during our younger days, you're really fond of beauty pageant. Remember?
Of course. Who wasn't? I mean, I remember like after class, we would
Right.
we would what? We would hold mini pageants. Was it behind one church building? Was it a
Yeah, at
building?
the back of the church or at the recreational hall.
That's right. That's right.
And our neckties, they become sashes. Remember?
That's right. I remember. And not only
That's why
that,
we're always folded.
exactly. And I think I would always play the part of the host. Right.
Right. Yeah, the
Yes.
host
Yeah.
always.
The host. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. So that was really, really good to know. So by the way,
And
how's
remember when Miss Universe was held here and we skipped class?
yes. I remember that too. I remember very, and I also made my own sash, Miss Universe sash,
Right,
made of
right.
cardboard, different colors of cardboard, and I had glued it on a plastic strap, and I would wear that, like forever and ever and ever. And I also made my Miss Universe crown, the original Miss Universe crown, the chandelier type. So that was really fun.
Right, right.
Okay, so let's start.
Okay.
Um, to those of us, or to some people who may have heard of you but know very little about your background as a fashion designer, tell us a little bit more how you became interested in fashion. What prompted you to pursue a career in the fashion industry?
Well, as I always tell, every time I'm being interviewed, um, like I'm inspired by my mom because my mom is a very fashionable woman.
Mhm.
And during, if you remember, during high school days, we really like dress up to like during Fridays, during civilian days. And really love fashion. I really love fashion. And you know um I think it was like my mom was the one who encouraged me to be one.
Mhm.
But of course they really wanted me to become a doctor, as always, as to what parents always like for their children.
Yeah.
But then I said I can't be a doctor because it can take like years of education. But then I said, okay, I'll give it a try. But I went to college. Then I said, no, I really want to be a designer. So that started. Then she gave me, believe it or not, at the age of 18, she already gave me a business. She surprised me with like, she gave me a shop. She gave me my first shop. And
Oh,
it
did
was a
she?
surprise though. She did.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
How many how
So
many how many mothers do you know give shops to their sons?
I think it's me.
It's like it's like one in a million, right? Son, I
One in a
bought you a
million,
shop.
right?
Here, it's for you.
Yes, and like just one morning, she just told me to drive for her. Then I said, "Why me?" Because it's a Sunday, and kids before like on a Saturday, you go out to bars and everything. Then you come home late, early morning. Then she woke me up. Then said, "Albert, can you drive me?" Then I said, "Why me? Why can't the driver drive for you? Why should it be me?" They said, "You should come with me." Then, to my surprise, she handed me the key. When we reached the spot, then she said, "That's not for you. That's for your business. That's for your shop." So that started it all.
Now, was she your first client?
She is a very difficult client. A very difficult client. I think one of the reasons that why she opened one for me because she really loves dresses. So it will be less expensive for her. It's for free. Make dresses for her.
We all have, I know every designer has their own perception of fashion and style. How do you define fashion? Uh, the Venezuelan designer Carolina Herrera once said, and I quote, "The fashion has to have madness." Do you
Mm.
agree with Carolina?
Oh yes, you have to be crazy about it.
Yeah.
You have to be crazy because yeah, you'll be creating a lot of things. You have to be adventurous. You
Mhm.
know, you really have to be crazy about your craft to be more adventurous, to create more things. So it's a crazy world for us. We
It
have to be
is.
crazy.
Do you do you follow trends, by the way? Are you into trends?
Um, Not really. I always go to the opposite. Like if they do this, I do the other thing. Because otherwise, you wouldn't be identified then. So actually, I do not really follow trends, but
Mhm.
of course, sometimes I do, but not really that much.
Okay.
It's always like just a little.
So you wouldn't necessarily consider yourself as a trendsetter.
Not really, but I do elegant dresses.
You do.
That's what I can say.
Now, how do you balance, let's say, that fine sense of reality and fantasy in your designs? Because I've seen a lot of your beautiful work. Your body of work is simply amazing, and of course, it's a wonderful combination of reality and fantasy. But how do you put that balance?
Well, you really just have to, like for me, whenever I make clothes for clients, I really have to study their personality,
Hmm.
and then, you have to do everything which, because sometimes ladies, they really want something even though it doesn't fit them. So you really insist on what you want, like what you really visualize of who they are and who they're gonna be. So I always like doing things which are very appropriate, like and very realistic. Not over the top. And of course, sometimes we go over the top. It depends upon the personality of the client. So it's always for me, I always count on personality first before doing anything else for a client.
Okay, so you don't necessarily let your client dictate
No,
what you
that's
should.
a no-no for me. That's a no-no.
Well, I don't think of any designer who wants that. I mean, unless you're a dressmaker, but there's a difference between a dressmaker and a
And a
designer.
designer.
Yeah,
Right. You're right.
because designers are basically creators and artists. Now, what is the most expensive dress or gown you have ever designed, and who was the client? You don't have to tell the
Well, of
client
course,
name, but
yeah. Well, of course, the most expensive gown that I've ever made is a gown which I made for one of the royalties in the United Arab Emirates. So that's one of the most expensive gowns that I've ever made. Because even like when I was still working the palace, that was the first time I take hold of a fabric which cost $15,000 per yard.
okay.
So it's in the United Arab Emirates. It's like it's just an ordinary thing for them because they really want very opulent dressing, gowns. Everything should be all opulent.
Hmm.
So that's where I mastered my craft of being a couture designer.
Hmm. I think the United Arab Emirates can thank their oil because they're so blessed with oil that there's no poverty in that area, that
You're
part of the
right. You're
world.
right. You're right. You're right.
So you were
You're right.
you you were in that region for how long?
for 20 years, 20
20
plus
years.
years.
Hmm.
Yes, and there wasn't, believe it or not, when I was there was no Coca-Cola. It's only Pepsi over there.
Wow.
And
Okay.
there were no taxis yet.
Okay.
Metered taxi, there were no metered taxis. And but it's just like we're blessed because the Filipinos are always the first in the Middle East, like in fashion. But the first uh, designers there, I remember they're the thighs. Yeah, they're very good, but the only thing is, the language,
Okay.
because of course they speak more Thai. So, but the Filipinos, we speak English, so it's very easy for us to understand. And
Hmm.
one more thing, we can easily adapt the culture, the language.
Hmm.
That's where the Filipinos are its best, adapting things. So,
Yeah.
we did great.
Of course, Michael Cinco,
Right.
and other Filipino designers, actually made a career out of working from the Middle East.
Even I remember, Rafa, the first time you landed in the United States, you were the president of a club in your school. Remember? You sent us that news. You forgot it?
I
Oh my
think
gosh, Rafa, come on.
I think I have to eat more fish. Okay, so that's interesting. So you were 20 years in the Middle East, and then you decided to come back to the Philippines. Why?
Well, first, actually, when I was it was my last I spent 10 years in the palace.
Mhm.
So during my last 3 years, I was already praying. I was praying to God, like, God, I want to grow up. I want to grow up as a designer. Because once you're inside a palace, you're just confided in one box that you should always make dresses which are appropriate for them only, for their taste. So we make dresses sometimes which are against our taste, I
Mhm.
must say.
Right.
Um, we make dresses which they like, even you don't like, you have to make it. And I told myself, I'm not growing as a designer. I want to grow as a designer. You know, um, and it was Michael Cinco who convinced me to go to the Philippines and have my show. And come on, Albert, he pushed me. He pushed each and everyone, like Ezra, Santos, other guys as well. And he said you should have a show in Manila. So Michael Cinco paved the way for us. So he talked to organizers here in the Philippines of Philippine Fashion Week to have us, to showcase our designs. So it was Michael who opened the doors for us here in the Philippines.
Mhm.
And then that started. So I told myself, I've been praying, like, God, I'm not complaining, but I really want to grow as a designer internationally.
Mhm.
So, and then, prayers are heard. So I came back to the Philippines. Then, to my surprise, when I was here on vacation, um, the Ayala Group offered me if I wanted to put up a boutique in Greenbelt. So I said, wow. So I said, okay, so can we meet you? I was on vacation by then. So we met. Then they told me their plans. And, it was a really big favor. So I said, this is it. So even, my deposit for the boutique, like for the rent, they said, Albert, we're not going to ask you in cash, but we can give you in terms. So it won't be too heavy for you. So I said, this is really a big favor for me. So I agreed, and then that started everything. When I opened my Greenbelt 5 shop, I said, business is not really the same if you're not the one managing it, if you're not hands on. So I
Right.
said, I think I would go back. So Michael, sitting with the other friends, were asking me, are you sure of going back to the Philippines? Because, here your lifestyle's different. You work in the palace, you travel a lot. But I said, it's about time. Sometimes, money's not that important.
Mhm.
What's important is how you feel with your craft and how you want to experiment with it. So how you want the way you want to be molded as a designer. That's what's important.
Right. I totally agree with you because a lot of people who go to the Middle East, obviously, they come from humble backgrounds and they want to go to a part of the world where there's a lot of opportunities for them to work, to
Mhm,
find,
right.
find a
Yeah.
stable job, and eventually help provide for their families. you did that, obviously, but then again, there's a voice in the back of your head that says, you know what, Albert, it's time to go back to the Philippines. It's time to go back to your native country, and just establish yourself as as a one of the major fashion designers back home. But why did Michael Cinco stay in the Middle East, whereas you returned?
Well, because Michael's really doing good.
Hmm.
As he has lots of clients. But for me, like I'm just inside a palace. You know how sometimes it gets too lonely.
Did he
To
treat you? Did he treat you like royalty too?
They treat me like a family.
He did.
I was
Okay.
like one of the heirs. I was a spoiled brat inside the palace, but they
Okay.
love me so much. That's why it really hurts like when I left them and they can't really accept it. But I really have to do what I want to do, and it's not that easy for a decision to make. And like even my friends, they were discouraging me to go back to the Philippines, but I said no, because I've been praying for this for the last 3 years, 5 years,
Mhm.
and I think this is the answer. So I just entrust everything to God. So yeah, so it's a good thing when I came here, everything was just like everything went well.
It did.
Otherwise, I wouldn't know how to face my friends way back in Dubai.
Hmm. What do you think of the many changes in the fashion industry since you began? I'm sure you've seen the evolution of taste and of fashion and
Mhm.
of design. What do you think of the many changes? Do you think they're necessarily inspirational, uplifting, positive? What do you think?
Well, because of course fashion evolves, and everything started like because we're really in couture ever since. During the turn of time, like during Valera's time, and everything's in couture, like slims, they're all there. But then it died down slowly, and then we're into ready to wear, just like simple dresses, just slacks, just jeans,
Yeah.
just blouses, simple blouses. But then, I'm so happy because like nowadays we again return to couture, and like ladies now love to dress up like opulence.
Mhm.
Um, and even men now are vain, they really want to dress up. Believe it or not, if I don't have a bride with me, I'm sure the groom will be on my side. Like, oh, if you're going to this designer, I'm going to Albert Andrada. You know,
Right.
Grooms now are really like men are now vain. And during it's because pandemic, but during Christmas or during that's why I do a lot of barongs, I do a lot of coats because um of prom days, of Christmas parties. And men nowadays, they have custom made shirts,
Mhm.
which they can buy actually in Zara or any other brand.
Right.
But they really want to wear a Filipino brand. So that flatters us. And we're very grateful and thanking them that they're supporting the Filipino people. I mean,
Mhm.
they're supporting the Filipinos.
Yeah, that's good because I mean, the fashion industry actually does create a lot of jobs. I
Right.
mean, people think,
True.
that it's not very easy. I don't know, ever since I started watching Project Runway, I've learned so much about the fashion industry, from scratch. Now, you spoke earlier of couture. Now, a lot of people do not understand the concept of couture. Give us like a simple, basic definition of what couture is.
Yes, because couture is always used um, without knowing what really couture means. The term couture means. A couture actually, when you're really a designer, a couture is all handmade. They're all custom made and handmade, and they're not really um, appliques or things which you put on dresses.
Right.
Everything's handmade,
Okay.
from beadwork to sewing to finishing, everything's handmade.
Hmm.
So that's why they call couture because, you know, couture dresses take months and months to make. It
Hmm.
doesn't take 3 or 5 days only to make it. So
Right.
couture really is something which you express from your mind through a creation, but through skillful hands.
Hmm.
So that's what couture means. But sometimes, a lot of people says couture as long as it's like it has beadwork or it's a formal gown or things like that, they call it couture.
Hmm.
But they sometimes they really don't know what couture really means. But that's what for me couture. That's what really couture means. Like it's done skillfully by skillful labor
So
and
it's
with
always
sweat and
okay. So primarily it's handmade, and it
yeah,
takes forever to make. Therefore, it must be very expensive.
it is. It should be
Yeah,
very expensive.
it should be.
Yes,
Okay.
because it takes like sweat and tears to make one.
Right.
From thinking about the creation, then composing which components you're gonna use, fabrics, and like executing it to a final creation. So it really takes time, like from the conceptualization to
Mhm,
the realization.
mhm.
So it takes a lot of time.
Now, you do have a diverse clientele. Your clients include not only regular people, but also celebrities, royalty, of course, actors, actresses, and of course, beauty queens. Who has been the most difficult and demanding customer you ever had so far? You can name names, if you want.
Of course, the most difficult are the royalties.
Okay.
Because for the royalties, money is not a problem, price is not a problem. So the problem is to think about what you're gonna do about the price that they want. So like for example, they like a gown worth um $200,000. So we're gonna look for fabrics which will compensate the $200 gown.
Right.
And what kind of silhouette or what design would you do to execute one? So it's just like justifying what they're paying. So it really gives it's so stressful sometimes because like what I said, it starts from conceptualization, especially when they give you a certain budget. Like the royalties give you like Albert make me a 200,000 gown, Albert make me a 50,000 gown. So and they just want to wear their gowns once, not twice. So you can't like I even have one client, if you already use pearls in one of her dresses, you can't use pearls anymore.
Oh, okay. Right.
That's
Right. So,
how difficult it is.
okay.
So you have to be very innovative in creating
Yeah.
and composing the creation.
Well, it's funny because if these royalties only wear their clothes once, then what do they do with it? Do they keep these clothes? Do they give them away? Do they sell them or what?
Actually, they just give it away to their ladies in waiting.
Okay.
Um, they give it away, and sometimes they give it like for a gift, or sometimes like donate it. Because um, if you would see their closet, like their closet, just like the first floor of a brand outlet. That's and
Right.
even the shoes, as if you're one in one department store.
Hmm.
So sometimes they give you a jewelry, they would hand you the jewelry. Then Albert, I want a dress for this jewelry, and then you would copy the design of the jewelry and make it into a beadwork, and then they would even let you like, Albert, I'm gonna leave the ring first with you, the whole set. But I said, no, don't leave me the whole set, just give me the smallest, like the ring.
Right.
Because sometimes funny, Rafa, she left the ring with me. Believe it or not, the ring I wore it for till the time the dress was finished, because I'm just scared.
Yeah.
Even I went shopping for the beadwork or for the crystals or for anything that's needed for the gown. I just have to wear it because they want it that, like, if it's red, it should be red. If
Right.
it's blue, it should be blue.
Hmm.
Things like that. They're very meticulous when it comes to design, to silhouettes, to colors. If it's red, it's red. It can't be red. It's gonna be maroon.
Right.
Even linings, even the underlining, it should be the same color.
Right. Yeah.
Nothing should be different.
Well, obviously, if money is no object, and do you sometimes feel as if these royalties are taking advantage of you, though, as if well, I have all the money in the world, you do exactly what I tell you to do. Do you ever
Yeah,
feel
it's
like slighted sometimes by these people?
oh yes. Sometimes I feel like I own you.
Right. Yeah. And of course, the Middle East has a very negative image among a lot of overseas Filipino workers, because
Mhm.
there isn't a story that goes by without a Filipino domestic worker being abused, and the news pick it up, and then that's the kind of image that that is represented from that area of the world. But hopefully things are changing. Now we all have individual styles. What is your personal style? How do you define it? Because I
Well,
see
for me,
you wear black
yeah,
a lot, don't you? You like wearing black.
right.
Black is your favorite color. Why?
Because for me, I'm a very busy person. Like I'm up by 5:30, so I start my day. Do you want to know how I start my
Yeah,
day?
please tell us. I want to know. We want to know.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this because it's just like reminiscing during when we were in high school, because I miss you a lot. Okay. So it's just like, chit chatting.
Yeah.
Okay. I always start my day. I wake up at 5:30 and I do my meditation, I pray, I have my time with God. So that lasts for around 2 hours. So that's 6:30. Because if I reach 8 o'clock, I would be receiving a lot of calls. So my phone keeps on ringing every hour, every minute, so I should be ready by 8 o'clock. Like breakfast been I had already had my breakfast. I had my shower. 8 o'clock I'm ready.
Mhm.
So, and I'm always on the go. So for me, I chose black because it's just easy. You just choose anything because it's black.
Right.
And sometimes, yeah, what's funny also, Rafa, like for example, for this shirt, I have five of these or three of this.
Okay.
Then I would keep the extra two, the extra ones. So when the color fades, I would have a new one, but the same style. So sometimes, people might say, "Oh, he didn't change clothes. He's wearing the same clothes like yesterday."
No, it's a
And
different. It's a different.
yeah,
No, it's different now, but it's cleaner and it's fresher.
yes, and yeah, and it's for me, black is the safest. Black
Mhm.
is the safest for
Do you
me.
wear jeans? Blue jeans?
I don't.
You don't. Okay.
All black. But I love wearing white sneakers or white rubber shoes.
Hmm. What about accessories?
No, just a watch. I'm not fond of jewelries,
Okay.
accessories. Not really.
Okay.
I
Just
just
one.
should have a watch. Yes.
Wonderful. Now, do you have for those of us who don't have any concept of what a personal style is or who are struggling cultivating our own personal style, do you have any tips on how to develop like a great sense of style? I mean, is it something that can be learned at all?
Mm-hmm. First of all, style should be in you. I mean, you should be born with style. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's hard to learn how to be stylish. You know, because it's obvious if you just learn it, and it's different when you're born with it.
Right.
And yeah, we could like coach you or instruct you the yes clothes or the no clothes, the right things or the wrong things, the right accessories or the wrong accessories. We would teach you how to mix match everything, but at the end of the day, it's your decision on how you feel, how to dress up. It's how you feel. How do you want to be dressed up? How do you want to look during that day? It depends upon your moods and personality, actually. So it's us only, like we're just gonna tell you what's not good and what's good, or what matches and what doesn't match.
Mhm.
So things are like that. So for
But
me, style, you're born with a style. I mean, with your own style.
so style doesn't have any price tag. So
No,
you can put on whatever clothes you feel like it and still be able to develop your
exactly.
personal style.
Yes, because your clothes speak for your personality, for yourself.
Hmm.
You would easily judge a person once you see him, like once you wear jeans or something. You would see person who's very classic, but classic, but very classy.
Hmm.
you know and sometimes you would see a person who's not really that beautiful, but once she wears a certain dress or a certain color, you would see that that the radiance of her beauty comes out.
Right.
You would see that. So it depends really. So dressing up is very important, Rafa.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Which do you have any celebrity styles that you admire? I mean, me personally, I love Audrey Hepburn. I think To me, she's perfection. She's like the icon of style.
Oh my gosh, Rafa, we're just the same. Yeah. Me also, it's Audrey Hepburn. Yeah, because she's very elegant. I mean, the way she dress up, elegance is there, opulence is there. And for me, she's a very wonderful lady. Whatever she wears, uh, it looks radiant on her.
Yeah.
Everything fits well on her. Like I just adore her. She's my favorite. We're the same. Didn't we have that
What about like
during high
locally?
school?
Huh? What about locally though? In the Philippines,
Loc-
who do you admire
locally,
style?
yeah. Locally for me, for that turn, of course, it's Imelda Marcos.
Oh
She,
yes.
yeah, she
We
really
can talk
wears.
about Imelda forever.
Yes, yes. When it comes to
Yeah.
dressing up, or
And
when it comes to
shoes. And
elegance,
shoes
yeah,
too.
yeah, shoes too, yeah, and perfumes. Yes.
Can't live without
So
Imelda.
yes, that's why the turn became very, very popular because of her. And you know how she dresses up. It's really very, very stylish, elegant, and and classic at the same time.
Mhm. What about Dr. Vicky Bello? Because I saw her YouTube channel where she allowed people to see her closet, her big,
Mhm.
humongous walk-in closet, and she has tons of beautiful, fabulous clothes and handbags. Yeah,
That's true. That's true.
yeah,
That's true.
and
Well,
and
yeah, she, Vicky Bello dressed up beautifully, and she knows how to place herself. When it's casual, it's casual. When it's formal, it's formal. And she's when you get to know her, she's a very charming lady. You know, and she dresses up well. She knows how. I mean, she knows where to dress up and how to dress up and when to dress up. She's a fine lady. She's a very fine lady.
I haven't met her. I'd love to meet her someday. Maybe during my next
Oh
visit
yeah.
to the Philippines. Who knows? You know,
But
maybe
you
I
have a
have a little
beautiful skin,
Botox here,
Rafa.
a little Botox here, a little Botox there.
No, you have a very beautiful skin ever since.
Thank you. Thank
Remember?
you. Yeah. Oh yeah, actually, when I was 13 years old, I concocted my own beauty cream made of sour milk, lemon juice, and sugar, and I would religiously apply it on my face before I went to bed. And my father used to make fun of me, like I can literally eat your face. Like, but hey, it worked. You know, it worked. And not only that, but being an Asian person, I think we're lucky to have that youthful gene in our DNA.
Right,
You know,
right.
so we
Right.
will always appear youthful. Now, speaking of rules, by the way, are there rules in fashion? Are there do's and don'ts? What do you think?
For me, there are rules, but it's it's for your own being. I mean, it's your own personality. It's your own. Fashion is your own. I mean, you just can't dictate somebody to wear something like this if she's not comfortable with it. So I tell my clients also, like, just tell me if you're not comfortable. We'll just like try to revise it. But I want my clients to be very comfortable in what they're wearing. And that's why whenever I make clothes, I really have to be hands-on, like from fitting to the finish creation,
Right.
that I would involve them like in that process. So I keep on telling them, like, I keep on telling them, like, you have to bear with my fittings because I'll be calling you from time to time. It's just like if I'm gonna put like a simple beadwork and test it first on the shoulder, you have to come to me. So I would see if it's fine with you.
Mhm.
If it looks fine with, because me myself will tell the client, like, no, I think we're gonna change it. I don't like it on you. Sometimes she would say, "Oh, it's fine, Albert. This is nice. I like it." No, wait for the other one, the revision. Then you decide.
Mhm.
So that's how I do it. So they're involved from raw, from the conceptualizing time up to the finished creation.
Mhm.
So at least both of you will be very happy of the outcome of the dress.
Right. I think in a way, you know what? It's weird because sometimes I really believe that sometimes there should be rules in fashion. For instance, if you're about to appear on some awards show, I mean, we all expect everyone to look formal, but yet
Mm-hmm.
you see people wearing blue jeans, you see people wearing sneakers, you see people wearing clothes that they shouldn't be wearing on a specific formal occasion. So you see these people actually breaking the rules. And then but then again, in a way, the fact that they're breaking the rules sort of reflects their own personality or what's going on in their lives for the time being. So I don't know, I'm a bit on the fence with rules and fashion. I like to have rules in a way. I don't
Yes,
know, it's
yes,
just me. you know
yes, of course. Yeah, yeah, of course. But that's what I said. You just know when or what and where to dress.
right.
That
now
should be the simple things that you should follow.
now when you spoke of materials, what is your favorite fabric to work with?
My favorite fabric, chiffon.
Really? Why?
It's the most difficult fabric because I just love the softness. I just love the flow of the fabric. It's so feminine. When you drape it on a mannequin on a fitting form, it's just so gorgeous that it's so chic.
Right.
It's so soft. I just love the flow. I
Well,
love the wavy
yeah.
part of it. Especially if it's 100% chiffon. I would just throw it in the air and just look at it like fly till the floor. It's just so nice. I just love it. I just love chiffon.
What is your least favorite fabric to work with?
Least polyester.
Oh, I love polyester. Maybe you can make me a polyester jacket.
Yeah,
why,
I think
why
polyester.
why polyester?
Sometimes you wouldn't know the behavior of a polyester. Sometimes it's so hard to. For me, I just can't really create a gown or a clothes. But it'll be forgiving if it's like half polyester and half something. You know, but not 100% polyester.
Mhm.
Okay.
Now, can you see my background?
Oh yes, I love your background.
I made
Thank
that
you very
background.
much.
I actually made that background last night. I had to be very, very careful what pictures to put on the background. And of course, the whole world knows that you're the designer of Pia Wurtzbach's fabulous blue gown.
Thank
Tell
you.
us a little about your inspiration behind that lovely, fabulous, wonderful dress.
Yes, actually, that started when I brought Pia Words back
Hmm.
um, to a red charity ball here in the Philippines. So she just won Binibining Pilipinas Universe just a few months after I brought her there and asked her to wear one of my blue taffeta gowns because I had a collection which is called the blue porcelain because I my collection consists of blue and white gowns and
Hmm.
dresses. So I asked her to wear that, and when we went in, even Bea Santiago was with us. It was Bea and her,
Hmm.
and I wasn't really very particular yet with camps. It's just like both are beauty queens, and then
For the
so
Bea Santiago, by the way, was Miss International 2013 from the Philippines, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, she was already Miss International then,
Right.
and then she was wearing white, and Pia was wearing blue. And what's nice, when we entered, everybody was in awe. And when they saw Pia, there was a lot of these socialite women said that, oh, Albert, if she's gonna wear a blue gown with that look, she's gonna be Miss Universe. Not only one, not only two, but a lot of them told me. So that started. So I said, Pia, how I wish I could dress you up. How I wish Madame would allow me to dress you up because then by then it wasn't they didn't assign me yet even the costume, like it was just like a few months like before they decided because at first they called me. I was in a Korean restaurant and I was having my dinner and I received a call from Madame Stella Araneta. Then she talked to me like, Albert, can we loan the costume which Pia wore during Binibining Pilipinas? So I said, oh my gosh. So of course like I was really having goosebumps by then. And then I said, of course, ma'am. Uh, I would love to. It would be an honor for me. Then she said, how much? No, it's for free. Not how much. I'll just lend it to you. So
Sponsor,
so
yeah.
she said, okay, okay. So afterwards, like after a month, she called again. Oh, Albert, I'm sorry because we announced during Binibining Pilipinas that we'll be screening designers for the costume. Oh, okay. So, okay, that's fine. But I hope she said, like, I hope you would you would
Consider
you
you.
would also, yeah, you would join the screening. But I said, I should I join the screening? Should I apply? Should I, things are like, because you told me already that I'll be loaning you my gown. Then now you're changing the, no. But of course, they announced it, so it's just fair, okay? So then, Pia told me, Tito Albert, did you design the costume already? I said, I don't think I want to do the costume because I have to apply, I have to be screened, blah blah blah. Then she said, no, just submit your design. She was saying like that.
Right.
Then I said, I don't think so, Pia. Then she was like telling me, Tito Albert, you better submit your design. Then you know what? During the last day of submission, she came to my office and she was the one who personally took the design and submitted it. Believe it or not. And then so okay, and then after they called me, they said I'll be the one making the costume. So then Madame was telling me, Albert, I want more capis on that gown, more capis, more than the one you made during Binibining Pilipinas. I
Hmm.
want it very, very noisy. So that took me like it was October, November. I started November
Hmm.
because because I think there was an ASEAN going on here in the Philippines, and she was entertaining the president of Colombia. So she said, "I can attend to you after." So and then so we started. So it was like a month to do it, and like every day, I have to go to Cubao. I'm staying in Makati. My atelier is Makati, so I have to go to Cubao by 3 o'clock because I have to meet her at 7. So I don't want to be late.
Right.
So I'll reach Cubao, Araneta by 6:30, quarter because of the traffic. I have to leave like 3:30. Then I would wait for her to come down and she would check on the dress. Then I would go back again in the evening, like of course, like I'd reach Makati again at 10 o'clock. So my staff are all off already. And then I would start again 9 o'clock. So it's like a few hours making the gown. And I have to do this every day, just let her check. She wants it checked. Okay. And then so I have to bear with her because I understand. She wants a real beautiful costume for Pia. So like a week, 4 days before, because Pia was leaving, like I think she was leaving December, 1st of December, like on a Monday. Then I told Madame on a Wednesday, I said, Madame, if we keep on doing this, like every day I come back and forth, I don't think I can finish this by Monday. So I think you just have to give me from Wednesday, then I'll deliver it Sunday. You don't have to check it. Then okay, okay. So she said, okay. And then I delivered it Sunday, but she was calling me every day checking,
Right.
like Ines was saying, Albert, oh, how's it? Oh, blah, 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 blah. So I was a little stressed. And then on a Sunday, I don't want to go to Araneta anymore because I was so tired. I told my assistant, you better deliver the dress. I won't go with you anymore. So he went there and brought the gown. I told her, see to it that you put in a fitting form so it will be well presented.
Hmm.
So Madame won't reject it anymore. So she put it on, then I was calling him like 7 o'clock. Did Madame come? Then he went like, no, I haven't seen her yet. Then 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, then 10 o'clock. Finally, Madame came, and then so he called me. Madame came already. So what did she say? She just peeped to check if the dress is here. Maybe she's coming back. Maybe she went out to check something. Then she didn't come back anymore. then then the guy there was saying, "Oh, Madame said it's okay already." So I asked them like to pack it properly. So they pack it, and yeah, Monday, Pia Wurtzbach left. So I think it was the fifth, I think, that she left Manila,
Hmm.
or the something like that. Then on the ninth, I received a call. It was a missed call early in the morning. It was 7 o'clock in the morning. I received a missed call from
You were still
Araneta.
meditating then, right?
Yes, from Araneta. Actually, I finished my meditation. Then after I saw it, it was a missed call because I turned off my ringtone. And then actually I got nervous because I thought maybe something happened to the costume. or it didn't fit,
Mm-hmm.
because they called me very early morning. So I returned the call. Then I said, "Good morning, madam. This is Albert." Then she went like, "Oh, Albert. Yes." You know how she talks, right? And then she said, "I want to tell you something, but this is only for you, between you and between me." "Okay, madam. Yes. Is there something wrong?" Then she said, she went like, "No, Albert. You promised me first that you will not tell anybody that you will make the wedding gown of Pia Wurtzbach." I said, "What,
Wait,
madam? Can you repeat it?" Then she said, "You
wedding
will
gown?
be making the gown of Pia." Oh my gosh. "Madam, I'm leaving on the 18th. So that's only 9 days for me." "Albert, I know you can make it. Okay? So it's up to you." So what column? "It's up to you, whatever you want." Okay. So what flattered me is I already won her trust. She
Right.
trusted
Yeah.
me already.
Yeah.
So I was so happy.
Hmm.
But then the first color that came into my mind was the blue one. And I contacted Pia and I said, "Pia, do you know the news?" Because she was saying, I remember this. "Tito Albert, can I just bring this blue gown, the one that she wore in the red gala?" I said, "Why?" "Because if the gown is not beautiful that Madame's gonna give me, I'll wear this gown." I said, "No, don't do that. You know, did you pray that you want to win Miss Universe?" "Yes." "So, do you think God will permit if you do that thing?" She said, okay, okay. Okay, Tito Albert, natakot tuloy ako. She got afraid. She got scared. So don't do it. Don't bring it.
Mm.
And you already wore it. A lot of people saw it already. It's not a surprise.
Hmm.
So I told her, "Pia, do you know the news already?" "What, Tito Albert?" "I'll be the one making your gown." So she went, "Oh my gosh, really?" "Yes." Then I said, "See, I told you not to bring the blue gown. Now God answered our prayer." So she was so happy. So I was so happy too. But the thing is, it was just like 9 days left for me because I'm leaving on the 18th.
Hmm.
So because when creating a gown, it's very crucial. The most crucial moment is when you're conceptualizing, especially at this time. You're a little bit pressured, you're a little bit stressed. So what should I do? So I was just like looking at my computer, my laptop. Then I just saw the sunset in Manila Bay. So that inspired me. So the lines at the back are the rays of the sun, and the
Oh,
flaps. Yeah, the
okay.
flaps of the
Yeah,
skirt.
I've always wondered what they signify. So thanks for
Yes,
explaining. Yeah.
yes, and the flaps at the skirt at the back, those flaps, they're all like the different kinds of fish in Manila Bay.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay, and since Pia just loved to wear that smile when she's at her back, when she turns around and she smiles like that,
Right.
I said, "I'll just make the gown very simple in front. Then I'll just make the good detail at the back. Once she turns her back and she smiles, that's it."
Hmm.
So because I want her beauty to glow, actually, I don't like a lot of beadwork on her in front because I want her beauty to emphasize. Her beauty should be the one, which should be the one noticed, not the
Right.
dress.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, but when she turns her back, there's a time that they would see the detail of the gown.
Right.
So that was my inspiration. Sunrise, the sunset at the Manila Bay, and the different fish of the Philippine Sea. So
Hmm.
that was my inspiration since I started already like in the national costume. We're called the Pearl of the Orient. So I used the capis and pearls. So that was it.
And of course, you can see the national costume in my background right there. So
Yes,
wonderful.
and
Beautiful. Yeah.
the crown that she was using actually was Madame Stella's.
Really?
Yes, it was a
When she
used
won what? Miss International?
I don't know. It's one of her collections.
Mhm.
She has a room there with lots of collection of headdress, and she was fitting a lot of headdress on Pia when we were fitting the gown. Then a lot of headdress were like this big, or all that. Oh my gosh! I hope it's not that. When I saw that one, actually it's just a basic one, but that's it. That's nice. Then I winked at Pia, say yes. Then Pia said, "Ah, yes, madam, I like this." So I just, yeah. So my partner Renee, you've met Renee
Yeah, of
before.
course. I was going to ask you
Yeah.
how is he doing? Yeah.
Yes. Renee's, Renee's my beadwork designer. So he
Yeah.
was the one who revised the whole crown. He put the capi shells, the pearls over it. So
Wow.
it would be more grand and
Right.
more crystals in it. So that's the outcome of our ideas.
Now, speaking of the blue gown, how heavy is it? Because of those layers and layers of fabric on the bottom part.
It's not really that heavy compared to really fully beaded gowns. It's not that heavy. And what's nice also when I brought out, I told Pia, me and Jonas told Pia to, we asked the chaperone if they could permit Pia to fit it when I arrived. So they said okay. So just wait here. They said they brought the gown. We'll call you when she's ready. So
Mhm.
we were downstairs, waiting, and then they finally called us. They said, okay, you can come up now. So we went up. When the lift opened, it was Pia on her beautiful pose wearing the gown, and it was perfect. Thank God. Like, no length was perfect, everything was perfect. So I said, Pia, better take it off because it's perfect. We don't want anything to be like um destroyed or something, or like we don't want to alter because it's perfect already.
Mhm.
So she said, Tito Albert, can we just wait for Sarah? I want her to see it. Then Jonas said, yeah, wait. I'll teach her to walk just for 5 minutes. So Jonas was talking to the chaperone, like we were just in the hallway of the corridor of the floor of the hotel. Then she said, I'll just teach her how to walk. Then Jonas went like, can you fix her hair? And then she went, keep on fixing her hair. Oh, not that, another one. Then the chaperone was like, her jaws dropped like, oh my gosh, Pia can change her hairstyle in few minutes. So they were surprised because Pia can do that.
Right.
So until finally, then I said, okay, let's go down. I'll just wait for my sister. I just want her to see it because I'm so happy. So she just waited for Sarah. Then they had a few pictures. Then that became history. Then I was very happy. At first, I said, I hope you just land in the top 10, so
Mhm.
people would see my gown,
Right. Right.
because otherwise if you're not won't be the top 10, they won't see my gown. So when she landed at the top 10, I was really, you know i wasn't I wasn't crying. I was really sobbing, like crying to death when they announced her as on the top 10, especially when she came out on that gown. I was really crying. I was really on tears because first I really had goosebumps, and I never expected my gown to land in the Miss Universe stage. And then second, she wore it too well, and it was very beautiful on her. Third, the Filipinos approached me. They came running to me, and they were hugging me and kissing me and thanking me. I said, "Why are you thanking me? We're doing this for everybody. Don't thank me." And they were like kissing. And the Venezuelans were just beside me, and they were saying, what the Venezuelan guy said. He said, "Are you the brother of Miss Philippines?" I said, "No," because everybody was hugging me. I said, "No, I'm just the designer." So that's it. So we were so happy, of that.
Great.
Of
Well,
that, it was very,
of
very.
course, I'm going to ask you this question: how did you react when Steve Harvey misannounced the winner, the wrong winner?
Oh yes, because we were so discouraged, disgusted,
Yeah.
because up to the last moment, Pia was really fighting for the crown. There was no reason for her to lose the title. It's her. You know, then I felt so bad because during the rehearsals, it was Miss Columbia always focused on the screen.
Right.
Like, it's always Miss Colombia, Miss Colombia. It's always Miss Colombia. And then, you know, we were so excited. Even it's just a rehearsal or a Mac pageant, we just want to have Pia even in the semifinals or final, but she didn't land in anything during the rehearsals. She only did during, I think, one of the final rehearsals,
Mhm.
and me and Jonas weren't there. So we felt so bad. You know, it was the first time to have Miss Philippines in the semifinals and finals, in a rehearsal, but then we weren't there. We didn't see it. We missed it. So we were so disgusted. Even Rene, he sat down. He said, "That's ours. That's our crown." I said, "You know." we should just be contented and satisfied. We landed first runner up. At first, we just wanted her to become one of the 10.
Right.
Now she's first runner up. I think that's okay. We just have to accept it. So I said, let's just eat because we're very hungry. Like no food for the first few hours in the morning. And then, because we're so excited. So when we turned our back and we were already on the exit, I said, something strange is happening. So I keep on looking at the back. Even Rene, like our feet were so heavy that we can step out. I said, I think there's something wrong, but it's normal. Like when a show's done or finished, the production just come running back and forth, you know. But then I saw or Rene saw Steve Harvey coming out again and with a different face. So Rene said, wait, I think there's something. I said, okay, yeah, I think there's something. He said, I'm sorry. What did he say? I'm sorry, something like that.
Yeah.
When he said that, like everybody like we're shouting, or especially the Filipinos, because we feel that there's a mistake. So then she
Tell me
said, then
about
he
it.
was like, yeah, um, I want to apologize. The first runner up is Miss Colombia. We were shouting that Miss Philippines, Miss Europe. So we were all crying. Everyone was shouting. Then a lot of the Filipinos, like were calling me. Of course, I can't answer because I was jumping for joy. And like I said, oh my gosh, Miss Philippines is Miss Universe. Pia won, Pia won. So, and then everybody was hugging everyone. Like even the Venezuelans were hugging me because when it was Colombia and Philippines, the Venezuelas were for the Philippines already.
Right. Okay. Because Venezuela and Colombia are mortal enemies. What do you expect?
Yes. And even, believe it or not, when Thailand wasn't included, the Thais were with us already. They were so nice. They were cheering for Philippines. Venezuelans were cheering for the Philippines. And when Steve Harvey announced the wrong result, the Venezuelan beside me, he went like, she's the favorite in Venezuela. Look at my Facebook. Look at my Facebook. They were saying Filipinas, Filipinas, Filipinas. Why is she first runner up? So everybody was happy.
Right.
And another crazy thing that happened is, so everybody was so happy, like everybody was like, everybody were crazy. And then one Filipino shout, like, because there's an accident outside. Were you there, Rafa?
No, I actually saw it on TV. Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
couldn't make it, yeah.
Yeah, so there was an accident outside, like a car like ran over a couple of people,
Hmm.
you know, um, just in front of the venue.
Hmm.
And one Filipino was shouting. It was so funny. Like one Filipino was shouting, like, "Hey, all Filipinos don't go out because the mother of Colombia just crashed over people outside." So Filipinos don't go out. I mean, it was really
That's
funny, but
terrible.
yeah, it's terrible. But it was a nice fight for Pia because you would really see her fighting till the end, and and she was really very very nice, especially when we were invited to her room already. We went up, so we were excited. Like when we went up, like, oh my gosh, they're showing us the suite. So she's in the suite already. She transferred, not in an ordinary room. Then when we rang the bell, she was the one who opened the door, and she was already with her crown, and we're all shouting and jumping for joy. We hug, and that's it. So I'm very happy for her.
Did you try the crown on your head?
Of course. And
It probably
Esther's
looked
so
better on you than on her.
yeah, Esther's so nice. Like one time he said, Albert, you do the crown. You do the crown. You put the crown on her head. When I was I was in one of her functions. Do it. Of course, I was hesitant. Then no, do it. So I was the one who put the crown on her head. It's a very nice feeling. It's so nice. It's so nice.
Well, a lot of people also don't realize that you also designed Paris Hilton's Grammy dress in
Yes.
in the background. That's a beautiful. Is it Chinese inspired dress? Yeah,
Yeah. 2014 during the
2014.
Grammy.
Yeah. So
Yes.
how did you come about designing that dress?
Well, actually, one of the agents in Hollywood contacted me, and it's the House of the Stars. It's in Melrose.
Hmm.
Okay, so They said they didn't really even tell me like it's supposed to be like for J laws or something. And then actually I just forgot all about it. And then one morning, one of my friends it's Rocky got a call. It was Rocky who called me very early in the morning. Have you seen have you seen Paris Hilton? I said no. Go and check. Open your social media, go and check Paris Hilton. Then I didn't know that, Paris Hilton wore the gown,
Yeah.
in the Grammys. Then you know what's nice also with Paris Hilton? During the Grammys, if you notice, every Grammy award, she would post that picture and she tells that, she tweets or she says in Instagram that it's her favorite of all times for the Grammy Awards. Yes.
That's great.
So it's so nice of her. Yeah.
Well, she is a major influencer. So whatever she tweets, she has a huge following. So whatever she posts on her Instagram, everybody like either buys it or comments on it or
Mm.
whatever. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when she was here in the Philippines, it was so sad because I wasn't here. I was having a show in LA, so we didn't really cross paths. So, but when she was interviewed, she said like she wear clothes of Albert Andrada, blah blah blah. She's nice, she's very nice. Yeah.
What do you consider as timeless fashion? Like, okay, well, let me rephrase that question. What do you think that every woman should have? At least three pieces of clothing. What are those three pieces of clothing that every woman should wear?
She should have like a one black long dress, a one black gown. I mean, then a one black dress, and one set of pants and blouse.
Does it necessarily have to be black too? I'm
No,
sorry.
no.
But, well, I agree with you with one basic black dress. I totally agree
Yes,
with you. Yeah,
yes, yes,
because
yes.
with
It should
that,
be like that.
yeah, you can make it look different by just putting any type of accessory.
Yeah, accessories, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
So what do you think is an elegant woman? What is an elegant woman to you?
For me, an elegant woman is a woman who properly shows herself through clothes. You know, one who embodies the elegance of being a woman. One who is adventurous in fashion, and one who is really who shows a real personality. Even wearing that kind of dress, it still shows her personality. That's my thing.
Not including Pia's fabulous blue gown that she wore at Miss Universe. What is your favorite creation so far?
Paris Hilton, of course.
Really? Okay, of course, naturally. Hello. I mean, that's a stupid question.
Yes, Paris Hilton, of course.
Now, here's a good one. How do you handle negative criticisms of your work, like bashers, haters? I mean, we all have them, right? But how do you deal with these
Mm.
people?
At first, I'm really not used to it. It was just during involved in pageants already.
Right.
I just taught myself how to accept rejections, how to be bashed. For me, bashing, I wouldn't say a healthy or unhealthy thing, but it sometimes help you
Hmm.
to become strong. Like for me, it helped me to become strong. When somebody bashes me, I just laugh it out, and it makes me stronger
Right.
than I used to be. Because before, when I see some bashings, I feel so bad, really, really, really bad. And even other designers sometimes they just don't like to be involved in pageants because they're scared of that,
Right.
believe it or not. So, it makes you a stronger person. You learn a lot of things like attitudes of other people as well who's been criticizing you. And of course, you know yourself. That's the best thing and the most important thing. You should know yourself and where you stand. And you should be very confident enough in what you're doing. So I think that is very important.
So you don't necessarily react to a hateful comment. You just ignore it, or you block that person.
I just ignore it because before
Not
when I
me.
was still when
Not me.
yes, I know you, because before I just answered like it just like bounced back back and forth a million times. It doesn't stop. So I said, I think it would be better for me just to keep quiet, not to react.
Mhm.
So things will just put on a stop. That's how I see it. But things wouldn't be the same if there will be no bashers around.
Mhm. Right. Well, as you know, we are still in the midst of a global pandemic. How has the pandemic affected your work and your personal life? Do you think that the pandemic will be over anytime soon? I mean, how is
No,
development
the pandemic will, yeah. For me, the pandemic will be there for another 2 years or
another two
so.
years? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a matter of how we're gonna live with it. And although there will be uh how do you call it, the vaccines,
Mhm.
we're not yet sure how it's going to react in one's body. And it really affected, what is so sad, it really affected a lot of businesses in the world, not only here in the Philippines, most especially the fashion industry. So there are lots of designers who just closed their businesses,
Mhm.
which I am so sad. And most of them are the new designers. And the feeling that you're just beginning your craft and your passion of doing clothes, then suddenly it just stopped.
Right.
you know I just hope this young ones um are really not discouraged. I hope that they would learn a lesson
Mhm.
of this crisis. But for me, I don't want to call it a pandemic, because when you say pandemic, it's really depressing. It thinks a lot of negative things blows in your mind. So what I say to myself, it's just a reinvention of
Mhm.
everyone and everything. And also, I also believe that there's always good out of the bad. There's always something good. There's always a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You know, um, in life, it's just not a, a road full of beautiful roses or flowers. There could be thorns, but it depends upon you, how your attitude, like how would you like reinvent yourself in a situation like this. Like for me, believe it or not, I'm into wellness and beauty now. And I'm also now in a talent management company, which is a New York based company. And I am so blessed because they hired me as like to run the company here in the Philippines. We're so blessed that a New York company, talent management company, opened a branch here in Manila, and they chose me to run the company. And so that's what I was saying. There's always something good out of the bad. And but we can't just like help it think about like negative things. But if you dwell on negative things, or if you dwell negatively, I don't think there's going to be a good result. So I think you just have to treat each other positively. You just have to think about something which could help reinventing yourself. And a thing that could be a blessing to people, like my wellness and beauty business. It's been a blessing to people because we're also blessing people in a way that we're helping them grow, like to be healthy and to be more beautiful. And but beautiful in a good manner, in the right way. And like you know um you just have to be a blessing to people even in the midst of this pandemic. That's what I should say.
Mhm. You actually designed a personal protection uniform or type of. Did you not design some masks for a company?
Yes, I did. Yeah, yeah. That's what we're doing with. I designed some mask. It's called the Aryan Essentials. So it involves of like protection. Uh, there's masks, there's pillows, there's everything in it. And I also design nowadays also like protective gears for organizations, for companies, things like that. And like of course, we shouldn't charge expensive because it's one way of helping also the other countries. I mean, our countrymen. and it's a way of helping um, uh, people in this midst, because you can just jack up your prices at this time.
Right.
You know, all you have to do and to think of is how to help our country, how to help the people. So
Mhm.
that's the most important thing. That's why I said, like, in this pandemic, I couldn't say pandemic. It's a reinvention of life. You have to be more you have to appreciate small things in life, because now, of course, Rafa, you miss hugging people. You know, it's just like when you see friends, you just hug them.
Mhm.
But now, you can't do it. Things have changed. As they said, it's the new normal. But I don't like the new normal. I want the old normal, not the new one.
Me too. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like before, you can just breathe in and out the fresh air outside your home. Now you can't. You have to wear masks. You
Right.
can't enjoy breathing now.
Mhm.
So things are different. So it's like, really, it depends upon us how we treat ourselves, or how we treat ourselves in this kind of situation.
Mhm.
So otherwise, if you're not gonna reinvent yourself, like your attitude or your being, I don't think you're gonna end up in a very positive way.
Right. Yeah.
Hmm.
What do you think is the best aspect of being a fashion designer? And on that note, I'm also going to ask you what is the worst part of being a fashion designer?
Okay. Uh, let's start with the worst part.
Let's start with the bad news.
Yes. No, the worst part of being a designer is like, I felt this way before. Believe it or not, there was a time that I got into depression because I really had I had self pity, because I just don't have a time for myself. It's just like, I just have to serve everyone. As if like everybody owns a piece of me, and why can't I own a tiny piece of me? Everybody owns me. Why can't I just have a time,
Mhm.
even a small time for myself? you know um I can't even cook for my own food. I just have to buy food outside because I'm always on the go. But during this time, now I enjoy cooking. I love my kitchen. I'm now enjoying my kitchen, you know, and you're just so scared to eat outside sometimes.
Right.
And then that's the worst part. You can't own yourself. Yourself is not your own.
Mhm.
It's for everyone. Then uh the best side of it is like, for me, one big factor to become successful is to be grounded. It's your relationship with people. um you have to be grounded. You have to have humility. You have to be very humble, and you really have to be careful with relationships with people, because especially when you're starting, like for me as a designer, I always, because I used to teach when I came here. I used to teach in Raffles Design School,
Mhm.
which is based in Singapore, but they open here in Manila. I mean, I'm too blessed to open offices here which are internationally. So uh, I always tell my students, like, you know, um, you won't be successful if your success goes into your head. Like, you should be very humble. And, it's not really, you should be very grateful, especially to your parents, to your siblings, and to everyone around you during the journey. And what's nice also, like now, you learn to appreciate and you learn to show love to your family, because you're all in one roof now. You can't just go out. And and being successful also, um, has to be, I always tell them, you just have to be grounded. You just have to be who you are. And whenever success is there, it's not success at all. It's because of your hard work. And it's because of the support of the people who loves you.
Right.
Because if you're not supported by your family, if you're not supported by friends, if you're not supported by people, I don't think you would be successful.
Mhm.
And success should be shared to everyone. You just don't keep it to yourself. There should be a purpose on why you become so successful in life.
Right.
So, there are a lot of things, when you're a designer, sadly, once you're a designer, you have to serve everyone. You have to be they should have a piece of yourself always. You don't own yourself anymore, because like everybody owns you. Okay, so you just have to bear with that, and you just have to have the right attitude on how to do these things in a proper way, or to accept it. It's always the positive. I always tell them, it should always be the positive, because when I was teaching my students, I told them being a fashion designer is not a bed of roses. You might think it's a bed of roses. You might think it's glamorous. Yes, it is glamorous, because you're doing glam clothes. But behind the scene, it's a very stressful, tiring work, and you just wouldn't stop researching, you wouldn't stop studying, you wouldn't stop thinking. So I have, believe it or not, I have notepads beside my table, my bed. I have notepads inside my shower room, my toilet. I have notepads everywhere, because when I think of something, I just have to jot it down. And because if not, I will just forget. I have the tendency to forget everything that I thought of. Even like when you're dreaming, you would just wake up, and I would write things what I dreamt of. So that would serve as inspirations also for creating something. Not only gown, but creating yourself.
Mhm. Oh,
Yes.
I totally agree with you, because I think it's so once a person reaches a certain level of success, they feel that the whole world should bow down, you know, to them. And when I think of, famous designers like Alexander McQueen or John Galliano, I mean, Alexander McQueen was one of my favorite designers.
Yeah.
That he committed suicide before
Mm.
he turned 35, but he was really suffering from depression. And John Galliano, of course, again, he's battling his own demons, but he's probably he's my favorite designer of all time, because I just love his creation and his styling. But you are right. Once a person reaches a certain level of success, they feel like the whole world owes something to them. But I see you as a very spiritual person. You always acknowledge God in
Oh,
your work,
yes.
in your creation. You always acknowledge his presence. You always are very thoughtful and thankful of him. And I think that's 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 what keeps you strong in this industry, right?
Yes, and we're a product of San Sebastian. That's why we grew up with priests.
Oh my God. Thank God for our Catholic education.
Yes, we grew up with priests. And it's just like, it's a matter really of how you accept reality. How you think things, of how to improve yourself, things like that. And there are lots of things that you can do for yourself. But the priority should be always in your mind is, how would you help others? How would you fulfill his purpose, for other people? Because we all know that God loves us, but his love should be felt also to other people through us. That's very important.
Your name has become synonymous with luxury and elegance. Where do you see your label heading next?
You know, um, for now, it's not clear because of what's happening.
You have to wait for God's signal, right?
Yeah. But like, I just want to be in Rodeo Drive, one of the boutiques there. I just want to land there, like in Rodeo Drive. Every time I'm in LA, I just want to visit Rodeo Drive, and I go around, and believe it or not, I just walk and pray and ask God that, hoping that God will give me one of those boutiques someday. Yes, I want to be in Rodeo Drive.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair. And you always have, beautiful things to look at anyway, and all the
Right.
shops and the palm trees and the good weather and good food.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
If you hadn't become a designer, What else would you have done, Albert? Doctor.
Maybe I'll be forced to be a doctor.
Okay. Doctor of what?
Medical doctor. Like actually, my mom said if you can't like don't want to be like a surgeon or anything, you could just sell for be a dentist. So I said, okay, but I have a friend who's a surgeon, who's one of the top surgeons here in the Philippines. But his passion is really to make clothes, and he left medicine, and went to open his own shop. And he is one of the top surgeons here, believe it or not.
Okay.
So it really depends upon what you really like, what your heart's desire, that will make you really successful in life and do the right things.
Mhm. Okay.
How about you, Rafa? If you're not if you're not in a beauty contest, what are you doing now?
I would be running for the president of the United States of America.
Go. Yes, you deserve it. You can, Rafa. I know you since high school. You can.
Okay, I'll think about it. Um, since Madame Stella Marquez lost the franchise for Miss Universe, a new pageant organization, Miss Universe Philippines organization, was created, and you're at the helm of this organization. You are. What is your position exactly? Are you responsible?
I'm the director of the Fashion Council.
Okay. Now, a fan asked me, "Are you working with the current Miss Universe Philippines, Rabia Mateo?" You are.
Yes, we are, but right now we're just trying to reinvent things or invent things or being adventurous. When it comes to dressing up, we're just trying to do some experimenting. So when the time comes when she will be landing in the Miss Universe pageant, she will know what to wear. She would know what's good for her, and we're like also we're trying to unite or compose like a stylist who could work with us,
Okay.
properly. Yes, because it's very the thing fashion is very important, especially in pageants. So for Rabia, she should have the right clothes, right of wardrobe.
Right.
So we are very careful now in choosing the stylist for her, and so that's why we're trying to create a team of stylists,
Okay.
which could help her in her wardrobe.
Yeah. Actually, as far as the question of a stylist is concerned, a fan actually asked me, uh, Rafa, please ask for Albert's honest opinion why Rabia's styling is always off, no matter how her stylists try, or what is irregular in her body. Thanks. What do you think?
Yes, that I admit because sometimes we're just surprised to see her on television or in social media that she's wearing the wrong dresses.
Mhm.
That's why what we're doing now is to really choose the right stylist for her. So what we're doing now is experimenting as early as now, actually because we just have a few months left, and so we're creating this team for her to make sure that everything fits her. That we just don't want her to be out in the pageant, out in that Miss Universe competition, to be underdressed or overdressed. She should be Miss Philippines and as Rabia, for Miss Universe. Not
Will,
overdone, not over the top.
will you be designing her evening gown and national costume?
No.
Or is that a secret? No? Okay. Somebody else will? Who?
No,
Tell
because
me.
it's not fair. If I'm gonna design, her gown, I just want to share this journey, these experiences of dressing up a beauty queen for an international pageant. I just want to encourage everyone. You know, if I could, if I can, I will. But I don't think so because I have already Miss Universe, Pia Wurtzbach. So I just want the others also to be blessed, like to experience the journey of creating a gown or dresses for a queen. So, I just want to give everyone a chance. So that's what I'm doing. I don't wanna design for Miss Universe Philippines. It's not I don't want to design, but I want to give chances to others and have them experience the journey that I had when
Mhm.
I had Pia.
But will you at least have some voice as far as creating her gowns are concerned?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, of course,
you'll be
yes.
guiding.
Because yeah, I always we always decide on that. Not only me, but the whole board, decides on that. But of course, they're always asking my opinions and everything. That's why I'm the director of the fashion council. So I'm very careful, or also, and we're very careful in choosing your clothes. So right now, sometimes we can't help it. Like um there are other dresses which really doesn't fit her or doesn't look good on her, we must admit. And that's why we said we're trying to create a team which will work perfectly for her. That's
At the top of your head, what do you think is the color that fits Rabia's skin tone the best?
secret.
Come on, maybe red, because I see her wearing a lot of red. I mean, she looks good in red.
Secret.
Anything but
Secret.
black.
No, because we just want to leave an element of surprise to you guys. you
That's
know
yeah.
yeah, I'll just whisper to you when we're off the air,
Send me
okay?
an email or something. Now, do you have an idea where Mission Everest 2020 will be held?
I am not sure yet. Not really
What
sure.
has Jonas told you? Has he told you anything?
No, because like for me,
Complete.
I'm just yeah. We don't have any news yet about the venue, but I feel it will be in the United States, because how can you go out of the states with this means of crisis?
Right.
I think for me, like if I'm the Miss Universe, I would rather have it in the states rather than going out of
Mhm,
the country.
mhm.
Because
That's true.
I'll
I
be taking care of like 90 candidates.
okay.
So, why would I take the risk of bringing them outside else, somewhere else?
Well, my wish is that the pageant should be held in Florida, maybe Miami, because they have all the resources available, right? Miami
You're
would be
right.
wonderful. Yeah.
Me also, Miami would be wonderful.
Mhm.
It would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Will you be there?
Of course. Of course. But the only problem is that it's a 2 hour flight from Massachusetts. And I don't think I'll be able to survive wearing a mask for 2 hours during the
It's
flight.
our
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe you should design me a special mask that I can breathe in easily.
Rafa will
You
be
know?
flying like for 14 hours with a mask.
Oh my God. I'll be dead. I'm telling you. I'll be able to do it.
Yeah.
Listen, darling, I had a wonderful, incredible time chatting with you. The last time we saw each other was, I think, what, 2017? No, 2014, 2017.
Yeah, I think
I visited the Philippines twice. In 2014, when Critical Beauty presented you and Roger Flores the Lifetime Achievement
thank
Award,
you very much. Yes, thank you very
which you both
much.
guys deserve. And I came back 2017 for the Miss Universe 2016 pageant. But we missed each other. We didn't get to see each other. Yeah.
Right,
So
right.
hopefully next time we'll get to meet each other. Yeah. So I had a wonderful time chatting with you, and then yeah, we'll do another Zoom meeting with our fellow classmates from San
Right.
Sebastian. It'll be great to get reacquainted, after all these years. So that should be a lot of fun. We'll invite Luis and also John Ferrer, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Too.
Yeah, I would like, and I just miss talking to you like during high school, we do a lot of chit chat, especially with pageants. And you really deserve where you are now, because that's how I see you before. I saw it coming before. When we were in first year high school,
Yeah,
even grade 6, I think.
memories,
Then
lots
you
of
just
good memories.
left us and spent high school in the States.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's a different
Yes.
kind of world. Yeah.
Mhm.
Listen, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And by the way, say hello to Renee, and
I will. Thank you so much. Yeah.
I'm glad that he's getting better.
Yes,
His
he is.
very stable. Yeah, yeah, and say hello to him. And the next time will be a blast.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you very much also, Rafa, for having me, and more power to Critical Beauty and what you're doing, and keep on doing this. Don't stop, because you're leaving a great impact on the pageant world and in the fans, in the heart of the fans. And you are a blessing to the pageant world. Really a blessing because you are the voice of everyone. You are the one who can say whatever should be said, and you're a great guy. Thank you so much. And
Thank
I
you.
am so honored like to have known you for decades. So thank you so much for having me here, Rafa.
You're welcome. I really appreciate those lovely words. Thank you, Albert. So I'm gonna go ahead and upload this video in my YouTube channel, Critical Beauty Salon, for everybody to watch. And again, Albert, my dear Albert, thank you as ever. And God bless you.
You're
God
welcome.
bless Renee. And we'll talk to each other soon. I'm giving you a virtual hug.
Me
Virtual
too, me too. Yes, me
hug.
too. Yeah.
Kisses.
Yeah.
All right. Take
Good
care, Bart.
morning. Yeah,
Good
good morning in the
evening.
United States.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening, Manila. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
Mabuhay.
Babuhay.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you.